Have you ever purchased a pack of 12 by 12 pattern paper and got some really large cut aparts you weren't sure what to do with? Hi, I'm Jess from JessCrafts.com and I'm here to help you make the most of your crafty supplies and time. So let's get making. Now, if you see a big set of cut aparts like this and you're a scrapbooker, these might seem fantastic and you know exactly what to do. But as a card maker, these are quite large. When I first saw this paper, I thought, oh great, it's embellishments for cards. And then I realized they're really, really big. You know, some of these are like this one, when I cut it out, will be the size of a card, if not larger. And then most of these are a full 4 inches, and an A2 card is only 4¼ inches. So I wanted to tackle how I would use this patterned paper. Now, I did another video where I tackled two different challenging papers from the same collection. This is the Michael's Recollections Christmas patterned paper pack. And I did 2 other ones and I made the cards bigger. I made them 5 by 7. So I thought, well, I'm gonna give myself a different challenge and not make the bigger cards because I do think that that would be an easy way to use some of these larger embellishments. So I kind of was looking through my sketches and like, is there anything that can kind of help me kind of inspire me to what to do with these? And I noticed in 12 by 12 paper busting templates, 24 and 36, they both use these large pieces, like 4-inch wide pieces of patterned paper. And sometimes with this number 24, I'm using a full 4 by 4 inch and then just using little 4 by 1 inch strips on top and bottom. I have seen these 4 by 4s pretty commonly in other different 12 by 12 pattern paper packs. And I'm looking and going, you know, a couple of these look about that size, so maybe I could make that work. And then this one here shows you it with 4 by 2. And so I think what the main key that I'm taking away here is that you can pick an even measurement, or I guess even, this is confusing, but like an easily divisible by 12 measurement, like 1 or 2. Also 3 and 4 work for 12 by 12, you know, you can evenly divide. 5 inches doesn't work, but these smaller little easily divisible measurements can be that inspiration point. So let's take a look at how we would approach this. And I will reference back the sketches if necessary. So I am going to start. When you're using tools like paper trimmers, please follow all manufacturer safety instructions. There are 2 sheets of this particular patterned paper in the 12 by 12 pad. And so I'm going to cut them into their 4-inch strips. So I'm mostly making sure that I'm following like the line on the paper so that just in case every once in a while you'll think, oh, it's, you know, it's evenly divided by 3, so it must be 4 inches. But when you actually go to cut it, you find it's a little bit different in its measurements. That wasn't really the case here. It was pretty true to the 4-inch mark. So I want to cut these apart into their different, like what I consider to be the whole embellishment. And so these measurements are going to be based off of whatever paper you have. So you'll want to take your large pack of, or your large sheet of 12 by 12 cut aparts, I guess that's always what I call them. Because to me, that's the clear message is cut these apart and use them on your cards and your scrapbooking. And so I'm just going to follow the lines of my particular paper. And I'm not going to do this too painstakingly. Like let's skip ahead to, because most of these it's pretty clear, right? That line, and we'll look at what we have. This one here's the challenge, because I think it quite possibly could wind up being even larger than an A2 size card. If I cut exactly to the bottom there, and then, okay, no, this is pretty close. This looks like it would, if I'd cut to 5 1/4, it is going to leave the border around this truck. That's a pretty similar size to the top and side borders. So this is 5 1/4 by 4, which is 1/4 inch bigger or 1/4 inch smaller on each side than a standard A2 card. So that is pretty perfect. And I could just put it on a white card base, add a sentiment or embellishment, and be done. So that was really lucky that that worked out, I will admit. But if it was larger, I would definitely see if I could cut some of the border off and then use that little bit of sparkly paper on another card. Even if I did have to cut into the shape a little bit, like say it was a true 4x6 or something, I would minimize the border and or decide to cut a little bit into it and then use the reverse side of the paper, or just be like really creative with how I covered it up. So once I have cut apart all of the cut aparts, and I've kind of sorted them into two categories. Some that are really close to 4x4 inches. Like this snowman is 4x4 inches, but then this like set of 4 here is a little bit under. I still think 1-inch strips will work because I look at this sketch and I want to basically recreate this idea for them. And then some of them are a little bit more than 4 inches, so the 1-inch paper on either side will also work since there's a little bit of extra room on the cards. And so I counted that there are 10 of these, and so I'm going to make 10 that model this sketch, and therefore I'm going to need 2 4x1-inch pieces for each of them, so 20 4x1-inch strips of additional pattern paper. Then I found some that were closer to the 2-inch. This one was about 3.5 when I was worried that was just a little too far from 4 inches to work, and I'd rather have too much than not enough paper, so I will model those after sketch number 36, which means that then I will need 8 to 4x2-inch strips, so that they will look more like this in the end. And then these here are 4 by about 1 inch. And I'm going to hold off on using those because I'm going to have those help me to use the rest of this third pattern piece of pattern paper I'm bringing in. So I've fully cut up these 2 sheets. I have these cards reserved to the side, so I don't need to factor those in. And then I'm going to bring out my third sheet of patterned paper. And because these 2 sketches, as you can see, they work with the same 4-inch columns, they're pretty compatible. I'm going to take advantage of that. You could combine those sketches if you needed to. So I'm going to cut the 4x12-inch strips and start cutting the amount that I have already calculated and see what paper is left. So I won't bore you with making me cut 20 of these, but so you can see my procedure here. I'm just cutting those 1-inch strips till I get as many as I need, and then I'll move to the 2-inch strips. So I kind of ran into a problem, although that sounds like a silly way to address it. I cut out the 24 by 1-inch strips, and if any of you are good at math, you might know what the problem is already, or we're thinking about the math because we all could figure it out. I have 24 by 1-inch strips and 8 4x2-inch strips, and I use the entire third sheet perfectly, which really surprised me. Is not what I thought would come up. I thought I'd have to figure out how to use the rest of it, and I was fully prepared to figure out like which of the 2 sketches I could make, how I could make it work. So now I might have the challenge of having these left over because I thought I would be using those with the leftover patterned paper. So I'm gonna go ahead and assemble the cards that I have this will match sketch number 36. They're all very, very much the same. It's just going to be a larger amount on the top or bottom of these. And then I'm going to put a 1-inch strip on top and bottom of each of these, and then we'll go forward from there. Since I had unintentionally used up that whole other piece of paper and I still had these sentiment strips left with no clear plan, I was thinking about it, and I realized I have exactly 6 of them. And that's significant because most of my 12x12 paper busting templates for A2 cards make 6 cards, particularly the 2 that I've already been sharing today, 24 and 36, which are both available for free download at jesscrafts.com. I will link you in the video description where you can download these 2 templates if you want to use it. Say you have a similar 4-inch wide set of die cuts. And I thought, well, these are a little bit more than 1 inch, so I think I'd use it with the bigger sketch 24 so there's a little bit more room around them. And I'm just gonna go ahead and pick a 4th piece of paper and cut it in this no scrap way where I'm gonna cut them to rows of 4 by 12 inches and then cut 6 4x4 squares and 12 4 by 1 inch strips for the top and bottom, and then assemble them the same way. I don't know if I'll be using mats today, but if I do, they're a 1/4 inch bigger for for both of the sketches. So I would probably do something similar. And so by the 4x4 we get 4 1/4 by 4 1/4, and the 4x1 we get 4 1/4 by 1 1/4. I noticed that I have green, pink, and red. That makes it a little bit tricky to decide which color I should pick for this sketch, because the only thing is this is single-sided paper, so the top, bottom, and middle are all going to be the same paper, which is not necessarily my preference, but I also want to pick a paper that these all will like stand out well against. So I could pick a paper that isn't predominantly any of the 3 colors, like this one, but that does feel a little busy. That one could certainly work really well, but that might be not interesting enough. The other one I have in mind is there's like a craft paper with sparkly red snowflakes. So if I can find that one, I think that will be my winner today. But I'm just gonna pick, here you go. And so that to me has a good mix of like interesting because of the like foil or whatever is on the paper, and pretty simple. When I started this video, I had 2 pieces of 12 by 12 single-sided pattern paper with really large cut-out parts that I just wasn't sure what I was going to do with. I realized that they weren't going to be great embellishments on cards in the sense of like making a card and then just adding that at the end because they were so large. And so I started tackling those with 12 by 12 paper busting template 24 and 36 as inspiration. 2 more sheets of 12 by 12 single-sided paper in the end to create all 22 of these cards. And so I wanted to talk just a little bit more about some of my finishing decisions here with these cards that I created. I wound up creating, I think there's 6 of them with the sentiments. I did put the sentiment on the same side as the little image because I thought that would lead to a better balance. And I also think you could go in and add a little more embellishment here. Like I could see coloring in a little critter, or some of these, this one like here has the large snow globes from the pattern paper. There was also a 12 by 12 sheet that had like, you know, those ones that have like the stripes of different patterns going all down it. And one of the stripes had little snow globes that you could use again, like a different version, and they're smaller. And I thought, well, that could be cute too. So I might go in and add a little bit more to those. I did use Feliz Navidad as a sentiment because some organizations do ask for cards in Spanish. If you're not sure what you would put inside those cards, I do have Christmas, holiday, and winter jokes, but in addition, I have Spanish jokes on jesscrafts.com that you can use to add to your cards. And so I wanted to take a minute to mention that. The other thing is all of these, I did use a mat around just the center square. In the card sketch, it does call for mats everywhere, but for the sake of being able to make a lot of videos for you guys at Christmas time, sometimes I do little shortcuts. And so, but when I did cut this mat, I did cut the a fa la la sentiment from the inside. I was able to cut 2 from each of these mats, and so then I had these fa la la sentiments to work with. So this was, you know, while I was crafting, I had these snow globes cut out, I had these fa la las so that I could kind of have something to pull from and work a little bit more easily with finishing off the cards. So that's where that was incorporated and came from. And sometimes I didn't add a sentiment, sometimes the sentiment was right there. And so I just kind of was like, well, let me just go with it. You could, again, add some little critters or stickers or embellishments or all kinds of stuff to some of these cards to make them even more interesting. But today I really wanted to focus on how to use the papers. If you found this video helpful, here's another video where you can find more ideas for enjoying your crafty time and supplies. Let me know you like this video with a share to your crafty community, subscribe and click the bell so you don't miss the next template or tutorial, and check the video description for product links. See you in the next video.